Are you ready? Stand by!
Hundreds of thousands of Canadians are involved in shooting sports. We traveled the country to bring you the events and the people that make this incredible community unlike any other.
Whoa.
Welcome to the CCFR's Canada Downrange.
My name is Paul Sarantis. I am the match director here at the first ever IPSC Canada Shotgun National Championships. So IPSC Shotgun, for about 40 years, it's been primarily pistol. Different parts of the world have been shooting shotgun and rifle and other disciplines, but shotgun is relatively not participated in Canada yet. And the reason we're hosting this match now, after a few other large matches we've had in Ontario in the past, is to really get growth happening in the rest of the country.
I'm Sean Hansen. I'm the Regional Director of IPSC Canada. All throughout the world is all these different types of shooting. And shotgun started to grow here. I mean, we're big on pistol, and we're big on pistol. But shotgun started getting growth. We saw interest mainly here in Ontario, but then it's a little bit Quebec, a little bit Saskatchewan, some in Alberta, Nova Scotia, and so it's time to start fostering it.
Currently, we're at the Crumlin Sportsman Association in London and the Oxford Fish and Game Club out in Woodstock. Gracious hosts. It's a beautiful range. So you couldn't really ask for a better facility to host this type of match. We have competitors here from coast to coast, from BC, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Quebec, and obviously Ontario. We've even had some people come over from overseas. So we have a couple from the UK, from Russia, from the United States.
Hi, my name is Rob Vistelica. I'm a police officer from New York State. So I shoot pistol and 3-gun. I'm here today just to compete, see what I can do, and have a good time. Shotgun's a lot more technically challenging because you have to know your equipment a lot better. You have to know your choke selection, your shell selection. All that really weighs into how you attack a stage.
I'm Dean Carr, the owner of Select Shooting Supplies out of Cambridge, Ontario. I'm very proud to be the title sponsor of the event. Part of being the title sponsor also makes us the official match ammo provider. So our primary focus at this event is providing the match ammunition for the competitors. So we've got a really diverse group of people shooting the event this year. We've got family here from Quebec shooting as a family.
My name is Miguel Gagnon. I'm shooting with my little son Justin and Thierry.
It's important that the kids get introduced to this. They learn the safety of firearms right from the beginning, and especially in IPSC, since we put them through the Black Badge program to ensure that they're going to be safe on our ranges.
I got into shooting actually when I was, I think, 6. My father has been shooting for 15 years, and I grew up in shooting, so since I'm 12, I shoot IPSC handgun, and this year I started IPSC shotgun.
So as a family thing, mom's there, we're all there, we work together, we work the stage together, so we are together. So that's the most goal that I can achieve with shooting with my son.
We have 3 different types of ammunition that we use. So we're shooting birdshot, which you'd regularly use for hunting for purposes for trap and skeet shooting. There'll be nice fast action shooting where you're shooting clays and breaking clays at close distance. And then we even have slugs out to 50 and 60 yards. That's really testing competitors' ability to be accurate at that distance with a shotgun.
My name's Jordan Schmidt, and I was the site director, match director here at the Crumlin Sportsman Association. The number one thing that we look at any IPSC match, obviously safety is the priority. The goal is that all competitors, all officials, and all spectators need to be safe. So stage design has to be made in such a way that the targets are downrange, in such a way that it's extremely unlikely that anybody will break the safety planes, that there's nothing that the shots are going to bounce off or deflect off of that could then ricochet back to hit people. So it's a complex process in terms of looking at the layout of the stage, on the layout of the bay, how things are going to work. So it's a balance of accuracy, power, and speed is the whole principle of our sport.
Lots of feedback when you're shooting. So you are knocking down steel and breaking clays and punching holes in paper. The stages are set up in such a way that they're both beginner friendly, but they will test the veteran shooter as well.
We're the dynamic shooting sport, and we're not standing still shooting, we're not doing bullseye, but yet our accuracy and our speed is a massive requirement in order to actually perform.
I'm Shane Mellis. I'm a co-range master for this match. A very well set up, very well thought out match that they really took a lot of time and energy in getting all the details right.
The CCFR's Canada Downrange is brought to you by The Shooting Edge, SFRC, Select Shooting Supplies, the Calgary Shooting Center, Target Sports Canada, and Canuck and Bagheera.
IPSC matches are very precise and very time-oriented. So you want to make sure that you're executing real deliberate motions on all your stages. So a lot of pre-planning has to go into it. You want to do a lot of checking the stages out in advance if you're allowed to, so you can come up with as good a plan as you can to try and execute as deliberately and quickly as possible.
Is hit factor scoring, which translates into points per second. Basically, the person who gets the most points in the least amount of time has the highest hit factor of points per second, and they'll win that stage. And then cumulatively, the higher your hit factors are and the more points you score for every stage, you win the overall event. Sportive IPSC, regardless of discipline, handgun, shotgun, rifle, can be participated by all. It's a family sport. It's accessible to all ages, all genders, everything.
It's just another way to get out and do something with firearms.
It's a stage 4, it's a medium course of fire, 16 clays, minimum number of rounds is 16. Birdshot, possible points 80, start time audible.
This is a memory stage, so the most important thing is just remember your points, where you want to set up to engage the targets, where all the targets are, just so you can execute and get through the stage.
Roll to make ready. Are you ready? Stand by.
My bucket.
Charlie.
When my sights were up, I noticed my mid bead was a little bit off, but my front bead was on the target. I squeezed the shot with a good deliberate trigger squeeze and thought it went there, and it ended up not going. On the other side, the tight target with the nose shoot, I engaged it and hit it successfully, but because of the lighting, I couldn't see the hit was there, so I re-engaged it after a slight pause, so that also ate into my score a little bit.
Some of the difficulties in running a major level match like this is keeping everything consistent for all the competitors. Making sure everything's set up the same, making sure all the activators and movers and certain types of things like that all work exactly the same for the competitor. That's why we keep the staff, keep all the other range officials, for the most part, the same on each range. There has been 2 disqualifications, fairly routine in a match this size.
So once we've completed the main match and we've declared our individual champions in the different divisions for the first ever Canadian IPSC Shotgun Nationals, then we get to the fun part and we have our shoot-off, which is really kind of a more entertaining aspect for the top 8 placers in each division to come out and have a one-on-one battle. So in the main match, everybody's competing on the same stage, but you compete individually. With the shoot-off, we try and have a little bit more fun. We have 2 competitors that are actually shooting simultaneously. So we have an equal set of targets lined up, and at the very end, they have a stop plate where there's 2 plates that are hooked together that when they fall down, will overlap with one another. Whoever hits their target first and ends up on the bottom is the winner of that shoot-off.
It's not officially part of the match is over, scores are final. This is more of a after the fact, kind of a grudge match, if you will.
Stand by!
It's really anybody's game. I've watched this before where you can get a top shooter, he he goes through there so fast, hits the stop plate, it goes down, you think it's over, there's a clay unbroken or a piece of steel still up. At that point, it's the other person's game because they can take their time. So long as they knock down all the clays and the steel before the stop plate, they've won. We're going to have two brothers from Quebec that are here, and they're going to be shooting off against each other for bragging rights. I think the joke this morning was, who's the best son?
It'll be a good challenge. Been interesting, I don't know. But we'll see. Win. I want to win.
Are you ready? Stand by.
I had kind of an advantage because I was open, so yeah, I had box mag instead of hand reloading.
It's like a more difficulty on me because I don't have mag and I need to reload like one bullet per one bullet, but that was very fun.
Stand by.
We do a revenge.
I forgot the plate because I didn't see because the gun, the barrel of the gun was in my line sight.
So it was very happy to win.
So hopefully they take back a positive message to their provinces and they start hosting their own matches as well, and the competition grows throughout the country.
I'm very proud of my match and the shoot-off, and I'm very happy to win this shotgun.
I'm really happy. I win the top junior of my category. It's really cool. I'm really happy. I did better than I expected. It was really fun.
Already talking about and scheduling in on Ontario provincials for next year. There's already talk of another Canadian National Championship next year.
It's my hope that this is the start of something big.
I'm Gavin. I'm one of the organizers of the Ontario Practical Multi-Gun Shooting League, or OPMISL as we affectionately call it. We try to push the shooters to get a little out of their comfort zone and, you know, maybe shoot from different positions and offside shooting and under barricades, over barricade.
My name's Tyler Gerard. Been involved in multi-gun events and multidisciplinary like charity shoots for years now. And I've really been into the action shooting stuff over the last 4 or 5 years. And there's kind of a lack of anything to do in Ontario, and that's partly because of the limitations of our shooting facilities. So we kind of said challenge accepted, and we tried to come up with a league or just a competitive format that suits, so we can live in the aquarium that we've been dealt. It's a 2-gun league, a pistol and rifle. What we do is you'll either start with your rifle or you start with your pistol, and it just kind of depends on the stage design, whatever. Anybody will get inspired and be like, that would be fun, let's do that, and often that involves us building a new prop or something like that, and we kind of build the stage around that.
The variety of shooters we're getting is all over the place. It's amazing. They've all been coming out, and people of all kinds of different experience. We've had a lot of guys that have never shot competitively before have been like, oh yeah, I've got to try that.
People who shoot IPSC would they'd find the rule set to be very familiar. We use a hit factor based scoring. We designate rifle targets, or we distinguish between rifle and pistol targets by using IPSC mini targets for rifle, and that kind of allows us to simulate greater distances than what we actually have access to on most Southern Ontario ranges. And then we use IPSC standard full-size targets to designate pistol.
We've had at least one female shooter in every match so far, which is it's just great. I mean, that's a segment of the shooting sports that I like to actively grow, and I volunteer a lot for ladies' range days and things like that. I mean, because they've done the statistics, and statistically, it's women that dislike the shooting sport. So the more of them we can get out and try it and have fun doing it and be seen doing it especially, the better, because it brings more people to, you know, our side of the argument that's popular right now, and show that it's a, you know, a safe hobby for everybody of all ages and sexes and walks of life.
My name is Sarah Smith, and I'm participating in the multi-gun competition here. Happy to be here. It's great. We do, I believe, 4 stages, challenging different events every time, and it's just really fun. Each stage was different, which is good. I think that they focus quite a bit on a balance between speed and accuracy. There was some really challenging, especially on the rifle portion. Some of the targets were quite small or in awkward positions. So it forces you to make sure that you're focusing on the fundamentals as well as trying to, you know, move quickly. It's not easy, and this morning it was slick, it was a little bit rainy. I was really pleased with my pistol shooting. Rifle could use a little work.
This is an exciting form of shooting. It presents new challenges that are difficult to replicate on your own. I mean, anybody, if it's just a matter of accuracy, anybody can do that on any range at any time. But having everybody come together and go to the effort and trouble of designing new and exciting stages, trying to integrate new and exciting props, new challenges, and just, we have maybe 12 to 15 core people that are constantly putting their ideas in, so there's just always something fresh. And I think that's what that's what's really bringing the people in.
The best part is the multi-gun aspect of it, where you can have various stages and you can run various firearms.
My husband is former military, and so he had quite a bit of experience with tactical shooting, and it was something that we decided that we wanted to do together. We've done a combination of events in the States that have been pistol focused, rifle focused. So this is the first event that we've really participated in Canada in any form of shooting sport. When you're planning out your stage, the amount of times that you have to take into consideration swapping out your mags. In any stage you might be shooting 20, 30 rounds of rifle. And so that's, you know, 4 or 5 magazine changes throughout that. It really impacts the speed and the flow. But on the positive side, you get really good at mag changes.
This competitive discipline that we're trying to develop and promote in Southern Ontario, it just adds the dynamics and challenges of, you know, having to do it quickly, of course, but also the limitations of a more realistic loadout if you were, you know, in some sort of like a combat type of scenario, you know. So we were trying to cater to the popularity of like Call of Duty type stuff. It seems to be very well received. I think we get nothing but positive feedback. Most of our shooters are repeat shooters.
I think it went excellent. I mean, everybody came out, had a great time, you know. Nobody got hurt because the shooting sports are the safest sports around.
In the future, next year, we are all committed to expanding the league. We're going to be putting on more matches, and it'll be in a league series format. So your best 4 of 6, for example, are going to count for score. We are going to be pushing for more new and exciting props, more physical challenges, just adding new dynamics to the shooting sports that people have largely ignored.
With the amazing response we've had from everybody, next year is going to be even bigger and better.
The CCFR's Canada Downrange is brought to you by The Shooting Edge, SFRC, Select Shooting Supplies, the Calgary Shooting Center, Target Sports Canada, and Canuck and Bagheera.
Hey guys, it's Rod. I've got a quick pro tip for you today. There's a mistake that I've seen a couple of times on ranges, and I want to make sure that you never get caught making this mistake yourself, because it's easy to make. So as you guys know, the hard and fast rule is you cannot handle firearms or ammunition during a ceasefire. Now, some clubs will let you load magazines during a ceasefire. They'll let you handle ammunition because it's probably a good time to do that. And of course, magazines don't discharge cartridges, so it's not inherently unsafe to do that. But one thing that you do have to watch for is when you're uncasing your firearm. So I'm going to convey this through some experience I had. So I'm at my shooting club. I was by myself on the range. I'm doing a little bit of run and gun. I have a steel target at the very end of the range. So I've gone green. It's a ceasefire. The green lights are on. I go down. I'm disassembling the steel target. Some young guys walk in to the range. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. And one of the guys has his back turned and has his rifle case on the table, facing away from downrange, and I see him kind of go like this. He's unzipping his rifle case. So I had this steel target under my arm, the plate, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm staying out here now because I want to watch what he's going to do. And sure enough, he grabs his bolt-action rifle, grabs it like this, and lays it onto the table with the muzzle pointing at me because I'm downrange. And I yelled at him like, hey, man, can you handle firearms or ammunition during a ceasefire? And he had a cable lock in the gun itself, so wasn't going to discharge and kill me. And he's like, well, there's a lock on it. I'm like, not a trick question. Can you handle firearms or ammunition during a ceasefire? Because most people, they don't want to take accountability for what they did, and maybe half of people just was like, somehow this isn't my fault. And he's like, no, you can't. I'm like, then why are you doing that? And to his defense, it's a very easy mistake to make because you're excited, you're at the range, you walk in and ceasefire so you don't have to put your eyes and ears on, right? Because that's why a lot of people wait till there's a ceasefire. But think about it this way, what can you do? You can throw your cases on the table and then you can do nothing. So probably the best time to come on the range, unless it's the circumstances prevent it, is to come on during live fire with your ear protection, your eye protection on, and that way you can legally uncase your firearm, load your mags, get everything ready, and just wait to throw your targets out. Or start with your targets if there's a ceasefire going, and don't touch your cases. Make sure that you do not uncase firearms during a ceasefire, even if there is a trigger lock or a cable on there, regardless. So, easy mistake to make. I don't want to see you do it, because handling a firearm during a ceasefire is a very serious infraction at almost every gun club I can imagine, and that might get you banned, and that's, for such a simple mistake to make, totally unnecessary. So I hope that helps. That's your pro tips for today. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.